most of us cannot even survive with one role,
Yeah.
and he's here has 3 roles and 3 different bosses. I think it's not so straightforward. And as usual, when you have to handle so many things, some things are bound to not work in your favor, and that's what we're seeing now, right?
Now, today's one was sent in by Reynold. He's in his early 30s and is in a sales role in an e-commerce company. In Reynold's first year, he was handling the workload of 2 to 3 people. To help himself, Reynold initiated a project to improve some processes. I'll read the next part. Believing that my bandwidth would improve once the project was complete in October 2024, I proactively asked for additional responsibilities to further my career journey and enhance my learning. This involved taking on an expanded scope equivalent to another full-time role, which then required my bosses to reshuffle manpower and job scopes to accommodate my request. Unfortunately, as we entered this year, the process improvement project got delayed. I now find myself shouldering my original workload along with the additional responsibilities I requested. Now, Reynold is reporting to 3 bosses now, 3, and is feeling very burnt out. He wants to know how to effectively manage all his bosses and workload to ease the pressure, and if he decides to quit, how should he do it? Because one of his bosses gave him this opportunity. So, Gerald, any advice?
I think it's really good that Reynold is so hardworking. I think he puts many of us to shame.
Yeah, true.
Most of us cannot even survive with one role,
Yeah.
and he's here has 3 roles and 3 different bosses. I think it's not so straightforward. And as usual, when you have to handle so many things, some things are bound to not work in your favor, and that's what we're seeing now, right? I've seen a case before, and the person just threatens to resign.
Oh.
Yeah, just threatened to resign. So that sent the 3 bosses into a flux. Like, oh, we're going to lose our star player,
Yeah.
And then eventually they made it work for that person.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's I'm not suggesting that Reynold should threaten to
Because
resign.
does he know if he's the star player? We don't know, right?
Yes.
He's unsure as well.
Yes. So I think the logical thing to do would be to review the workloads itself, the work priorities, have a chat with the bosses, and to understand like which is non-negotiable and which are some of the things that you can hold back for a little while more. Right. After all, these are things that Reynold asked for.
Yes.
And I'm sure that they are also a bit grateful to him for taking on some of these portfolios. I think
Yes.
having a good understanding of his situation now, as well as the business priorities, reviewing the priorities and then getting alignment from all of them, I think that would be the right thing to do. But that's easier said than done, right?
Yes, correct. Because a lot of people would feel, since you have been doing it already, why are you trying to tell me that you want to change the situation? If I'm the boss, I'll be like, keep doing it, keep
Yeah.
going on, right?
Yeah. So I think for Reynold, really, it's to explain how come the work he's not able to shoulder the work as what he had done before.
Yeah.
I think when the hiccups came along, then certain things have to be put on lower priority. He has to find a way to communicate that to the bosses. I only hope
Yeah.
that the bosses are understanding.
Yeah.
Yeah,
True.
because not all bosses are that accommodating, and they may not accept what Reynold is doing lah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but to me, it really does seem a little bit unfair if they don't understand his case and they try to devalue or mark his performance down. I think that would be very, very bad.
That also is unfair for him in a way, because it was not his fault that the project that he set in place didn't finish, right? It wasn't completed and it was a bit delayed. So it's not really his fault. I think you're right. I think Reynold, it's good for him to be, very honest, very authentic with the bosses, tell them what he cannot do. At the same time, maybe what he can do with the bosses is tell them, I think with all the things that I have, maybe these 1 or 2 tasks can be taken away from me. Right, rather than say, can you help me to reorganize this? Can you help me to, manage my time? Just say that, like, I have looked at everything and I feel that these 1 or 2 tasks, I am not able to take on in this year until maybe that project has taken off and things are easier for me, then I can take on this portfolio. I think another thing that Reynold can do is, just see whether is there any work that he can share with other colleagues. So kind of organize mini teams. I mean, with the blessing of the boss, you can say, could I organize mini teams to maybe share the workload a little bit? He might not know, maybe there are like other people who are interested to expand their skills within their department, but have not been given the opportunity or are scared to take on more roles. So having these smaller mini teams helps him to be able to pass on some of the work, but at the same time mentor some of these people, so that in the eventuality he decides that this is not what he wants to do, he wants to quit, then at least the team is not left without any idea of how to proceed anymore.
I think quitting before having explored all these ways to try to mitigate and solve the problem, I think quitting will be a bit premature.
Yes.
So, Reynold, do try as much as possible to have those conversations and those reviews of your work priorities done. And I hope that, it will go according to your favor. But, as a career counselor, I'm also really curious about one thing. Like, what's the motivation for Reynold to be holding 3 job roles, reporting to 3 bosses at once? Because like I said earlier, most people would even struggle having one. And here we have Reynold, really perhaps a very hardworking person, taking on 3 loads. And now when it gets too much, right, I'm wondering whether Reynold is ready to let them go. Yes.
Yeah. So Reynold, looking forward to hearing back from you. If you can tell us a little bit more about your situation, things are better, things have changed, or, like what Gerald said, the question that he has, are you willing to let go? Let us know what you think. We are always reading, looking out for your emails. If, like Reynold, you also have a work-related question, do write in to us. We are at cnapodcasts@mediacorp.com.sg.
I'm Gerald.
And I'm Tiffany, wishing you a good work week ahead.